Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Center of Light Sunday service. Today is Sunday, June 15th, 2025, and I would like to welcome everyone. Happy Father's Day to the fathers, past, present, and future. Do we have any newcomers? All right. If we do, and if you would like to receive any of our correspondence that is sent out on Mondays and Thursdays, please type your name in the chat, as well as your email address, and we'll be glad to add you to the email list. I am Maxine Gill, Church Center Administrator, and I will be facilitating today's service. Our guest speaker is Dr. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, and we will start the service with our mission and foundation statements. Please join me as we read our mission and foundation statements. The mission of Unity Center of Light is to empower individuals to express their indwelling divine identity. We teach there's a power within each of us, far greater than anything that exists outside of us. And now our foundation statement. There's only one power and one presence active in my life and affairs, God the good, omnipotent. I've asked Rod Tyler to read today's daily word. Rod?
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Thanks. Okay. Hey, today is Sunday, June 15th, 2025, and the daily word is Father's love. I bless those special ones who have shown me Father's love. Father's love is like no other. It gives me the warm feeling of protection and gentle guidance and inspires me to live up to his example. Father's love take many forms. It might mean helping people with homework, coaching sports, and teaching of all kinds. It might mean the wise counsel and loving guidance that prepares children to be self-sufficient and ready for the freedom and responsibility of adulthood. A father's love may come from many earthly sources. No matter who showed me this love, its origin was divine. God is at the heart of all fathers' love. I pray that all fathers and father figures feel the appreciation of those they teach, love, and protect. May they know the love of God as they have brought it into the world. And from Isaiah 38:19, fathers make known to children your faithfulness. Amen.
Thank you, Rod.
Pleasure.
Today, our guest speaker is Dr. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck. Paul is no stranger to us. Paul is a rock star in the Unity movement, widely regarded as one of the leading authorities on metaphysics. For 10 years, he was Dean of Instruction for the Spiritual Education and Enrichment Program. Paul brings his joyful and passionate presence to his classes and presentations, both nationally and internationally. He's the author of 9 books, including Heart-Centered Metaphysics, a deeper look at Unity teaching, the main text for the teaching of metaphysics by Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institution. Paul challenges students with a lively and engaging style and an infectious enthusiasm. Paul makes an often difficult subject impossibly fun. Let's give a warm Unity Center of Light welcome to Paul Hasselbeck. Thank you, Paul, for being here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. And of course, happy Father's Day, though I never had the privilege to be a father, but my father was an excellent, shouldn't say but, and my father was an excellent role model. So I'm always happy to be with you because I know you all have been pretty well exposed to Unity metaphysics. So I hope I'm adding a new layer of understanding and maybe for some, a reminder of some of our teachings. So I am going to share my screen and find my PowerPoint, and we will get this show going. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to go to slideshow. Here we go from the beginning. Okay, so Unity Center of Light of Bowie, Maryland. Thank you for inviting me back. And just a little interesting side note, this image was created by artificial intelligence. After I had created this presentation, I asked it to give me an image, and that's what it gave me. And I think you'll understand why. And for now, I would invite you to simply sit back. This is my email address, alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. My website is paulhasselbeck.com. And my website for my podcast is metaphysicalromp2.com, which we're on a bit of a hiatus right now, but you can tune in anywhere over the hundreds of programs and find something interesting. And importantly, you might want to have your cell phone out so that you can take pictures of slides. And Maxine, I just realized maybe I need to have this on this setting. So I'm going to change settings to make sure that everyone has the right image. There we go. All right. So away we go. Universal assumptions. When I first created this presentation, I called it Sacred Assumptions. And I realized over time that the words like sacred, divine, those for a lot of people, not intentionally, but can bring people back to the idea of an anthropomorphic God, um, somewhere in heaven that's pulling the strings of our lives. And this is a little different point of view. So these universal assumptions underlie everything. Eric Butterworth once wrote, God is spirit, present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. God is spirit, present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. And it's important we pause and think about this. We have trillions of cells in our body, and in each of those cells is this thing, God or spirit. This is why when you cut yourself, your body knows what to do because in each cell is divine intelligence. And in each cell are the principles of life, health, and wholeness. And so the body knows what to do. From the revealing word, under the entry for capital M mind, which today I would write as all caps, God is defined as the universal principle, which includes all principles. So you can see this is where I got the idea to use the word universal. I got it from Charles Fillmore. And when we think of principle in this definition, principle is a fundamental law and or an underlying faculty or an underlying power or an underlying principle. Since God is the universal principle, which includes all principles, we could say God is the universal principle, or I should say God is the universal power, which includes all powers. And we could also say the universal idea, which includes all ideas, because those are all really synonyms for each other. So here we have our tree. And from the outside in the outside, we're looking to demonstrate or manifest or be something. An underlying demonstration are practices. And under practices are actions. Underlying action is life and awareness. And we go deeper, we get thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Then we get universal principles and laws. And then finally, the deepest are universal assumptions. So all of this relies on these universal assumptions. Now, sometimes we believe that we live from the outside in. So it looks like from demonstration to universal assumptions, but we really live from the inside out. If you think there's something outside causing something inside, you have a misunderstanding. There might be a correlation between what's happening outside and what's happening inside, but there is never a cause outside for something within us. So, an important thing about demonstration, an important assumption is prayer makes each person a master in the realm of creative ideas. Now, it's really easy to read quickly through that and not get the importance of this statement. Prayer makes each person a master in the realm of creative ideas. And what is the realm of creative ideas? It's the realm of our divinity. It's the realm of the divine. So we could say, I am master of creative ideas when we're talking about being master of divine ideas or principles or powers. And in Keep It True Lent, Charles Fillmore also said, prayer makes each person. Whoops, I have a duplication here, friends. Let's go on. In Keep It True Lent, Charles Fillmore also said, sincere desire is a form of prayer. Have you ever thought about that? That when we have a sincere desire, we are praying because that desire connects our humanity with our divinity. And in Jesus Christ Heals, Charles said, concentrated attention of the mind on an idea of any kind is equal to prayer. So we don't have to be in that prayer position or in that prayer frame of mind to pray. We can simply desire, or we can simply have the concentrated attention of our mind on any idea. And you may be thinking, what about a negative idea? Yeah, that too. Because these principles and laws have no way of distinguishing between our so-called good thoughts and our bad thoughts. And then another fundamental idea is stated on this slide. All material things represent universal realities. So think about right where you're sitting, think about all the material things around you. Those could not exist if there wasn't these universal realities, these ideas, these principles, these powers. And then whatever you see in external, you may be assured has its parallel in mind. So this is why it's so important to keep our thinking straight. So while we have dominion over divine ideas, we also have dominion over our own thoughts, emotions, and passions. Now, for people coming into unity for the first time, they may feel like there are people and things that have dominion over them. And the truth is, we determine where the dominion is. And it's truly over our own thoughts, emotions, and passions. Today, I think we would say our thoughts and feelings to simplify that statement. So, my dominion is over my own thoughts, emotions, passions, and actions. So let's say that as an affirmation. My dominion is over my own thoughts, emotions, passions, and actions. And we may amp up that idea of an affirmation, and we could call these assertions. I assert that I have dominion over my own thoughts, emotions, and passions. And this is part of that idea of living from the inside out. So here we go, Master Moda, or Yoda, I should say. I am master of universal ideas and thought forms. Say that. I am master of universal ideas and thought forms. Knowing that in its own way, our thought forms are earth and universal ideas are heaven. So, in a way, this is stating I am master over heaven and earth, just as the Master Jesus said. And no one and no thing has power or dominion over my mind. Think about that. No one and no thing has power or dominion over my own mind. My mind is my private playground, so to speak. So this brings us to that concept that we're fully divine and fully human, as Jesus demonstrated in this cartoon when he was a kid, walking on water, and Mary saying, "Dude, get in." So as we're thinking about this, and we're thinking about what Eric Butterworth said, God is spirit, present in its entirety at every point in space, all at the same time. So we could say, God is principle, present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. And yes, including every one of our cells. In fact, there's space in our cells, so there's more than quote unquote one copy. We already are and have all the universal principles, the universal ideas, and laws we use to manifest our thoughts, feelings, experiences, bodies, things, and events. And Adam's Smashing Power of Mind, Charles Fillmore said, universal ideas, he probably said divine ideas, are potential forces waiting to be set in motion through proper formative vehicles. The thinking, feeling faculty of humankind is such a vehicle. So this is expressing the concept that these universal ideas are pure potential, pure possibility, each having unlimited possibilities. But they don't have the power to act on us or for us. It's our own thinking nature, it's our own feeling nature which activates these divine ideas or universal ideas. We are the actors, we are the ones with agency. This reinforces the idea that Fundamentally, Unity's philosophy is about radical self-responsibility. And in Christian healing, Charles Fillmore's first book, in chapter 10, paragraph 12, he said, the absolute freedom of the individual must be maintained at all hazards. God is the universal principle, which includes all principles. We are all as free to use these principles as we are free to use the principles of mathematics or of music. And I believe it's this quote that demonstrates the principles and laws of nature, including mathematics and music, are on par with all the other principles, all the other divine ideas, all the other spiritual laws. And then this quote continues to say, the principles never interfere. We could say laws never interfere. We could say divine ideas never interfere. Why? Because they have no agency. They have no ability to interfere. They simply are. And they've always been, always are, and always will be. And those are the things that are waiting. They are pure potential. They're waiting for us to use them. And we can use them any way we want, for the good, for the bad, and for the ugly. You see, manifestation or demonstration is always occurring. We could say, kind of in the after the attrition, the way in which Course in Miracles says things, we cannot not demonstrate that you are here listening. You are demonstrating. You are manifesting who and what you are. And so manifestation begins with the limitation of universal ideas, which then become human ideas within us. And then we can from there manifest from the inner realm of consciousness to the outer realm of things. You see, these magnificent divine ideas, these magnificent principles are universal and infinite in potential. But if we don't limit them to something specific, we don't get anything. It's like this morning you thought, I'm going to go to church. Well, that idea is unlimited. And you had to limit the idea of going to church to going to Unity Center of Light of Bowie, Maryland. And that's the way it works. We start with something infinite and we limit it to something finite. If we don't do that, we get nothing. And that demonstration depends on the overall level of your consciousness. So while you're always demonstrating and manifesting, that says nothing about the quality of it, because the quality depends on your level of consciousness, the quality of your consciousness, because you are the master of these divine ideas, and you and only you are master of your thoughts and feelings, which ultimately leads to actions. And if we think they're stumbling blocks, they're not usually in the outer realm. The stumbling blocks and obstacles that seem to be in the outer realm of people, things, and events are primarily in the mind as thoughts and feelings. And an obstacle in the mind is the biggest obstacle to overcome. So, friends, these are some of the universal assumptions that underlie the unity teachings. And these very assumptions come from the writings of Charles Fillmore. Thank you for listening. So I invite you to take a deep breath, maybe another one. We take a deep breath as we make the conscious decision to center ourselves in preparation for a time of meditation, a time of reflection. There is only one power and one presence. And it's important for us to remember that that one power is made up of powers. In Unity, we teach about the 12 powers. Each of them is a principle. Each of them is a divine idea. Each of them are infinite in potential. And it takes the action of our thinking and feeling nature to get them moving. And we decide the direction in which they move. And there are many, many more divine ideas or principles. There's the principle of receptivity. Were you receptive today? There's the principle of generosity. In those moments where from my humanity I'm feeling tight and stingy, I take a deep breath and remember that I'm fully human and fully divine. And that principle of generosity, that principle of benevolence is always present for me to activate and use in magnificent ways. So, friends, not only are you loving, you are the very principle of love itself. And in order for you to be loving, you had to use your thinking, feeling nature to activate the principle of love. So, what's going on with you today? Do you seem to have obstacles outside of yourself? Well, I ask you to look. What obstacles are you making up in your consciousness? Because here's the deal, if you're making them up, you can unmake them. Not only is there one power and presence, somehow, some way, you are one power and one presence. You are the activator and the master of divine ideas and of your thoughts and feelings. And what magnificent freedom is there in that knowledge? Do you feel that? Do you know that? You are, at a fundamental level, the one power and presence. That's your divinity. Charles Fillmore said, the I am is the name of our spiritual self. And the I am is your innate, inherent divinity. You've always had it. And to use it consciously, we have to wake up to it and be it as we synchronize our humanity with our divinity through prayer. And so merely desiring to know your divinity is prayer. And any concentrated thought and feeling activates the very principles that you'll use to be the very best you can be. Don't let anyone cry sacrilege when you say, I am divine. I am human. You are beautiful. You matter just the way you are. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Dr. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was deep and insightful. Thank you.
You're welcome.